when your vitamin D levels are too low. So take a vitamin D supplement or get some sun. Now, I hope that rocks your world here in a moment. Like I'll tell you the studies, but I hope that like hits you. Like so many of you are like trying everything and you're in this like work harder, do more, shame yourself, guilt yourself. Like, why am I not losing weight? Have you looked at your vitamin D levels? Personally, I like to see your vitamin D levels up in the 70s for hormonal health, and weight loss is a hormonal issue. So make sure you're getting that vitamin D up into your 70s. I will tell you at the time of doing this video, and this podcast, it's in the fall. And I came out of in 2024, the first 6 months of 2024 were more work than I was trying to slow down, and instead everything sped up. I was traveling to lots of places, and I wasn't getting out in the sun as much. And I started feeling like I was gaining weight. So when I got home in the middle of June, I was like, I'm going to spend the summer taking care of my circadian rhythm, getting out in the sun, moving my body, resting my nervous system. And I really took 3 months and just put myself back into a good rhythm. And part of that was getting more sun. So I started walking in the morning when the sun was coming out, or I like to walk like 10 or 11 in the morning. So I got some good sun. So this doesn't have to be, and I started to notice I dropped weight. I love living in my body right now. It's like I fell in love with the process again. So whereas the beginning of the summer, I wasn't loving it so much. I felt like I was gaining weight for no reason. So sometimes we have to tap into these little things like getting vitamin D. Now, something really interesting is that the Journal of Nutrition Research found that 42% of Americans are clinically deficient in vitamin D. And that's clinically deficient is like under 20. Nearly 80% of us have levels below optimal, which I said should be in the 70s. We also know that 92% of the day is spent indoors or in a car. So take an inventory of yourself and see if you're one of those people who's spending too much time indoors. From a weight loss perspective, the International Journal of Prevention Medicine gave overweight women either 75 IUs of vitamin D or a placebo. So we took 2 groups of overweight women. One group got 7,500 IUs of vitamin D and the other group got a placebo. And they did that for 6 weeks. Both groups followed the same lifestyle tools, the same diet. Everything else was the same. But the vitamin D group lost more than a half a pound a week, while the placebo group showed that there was no change in weight loss. That's how important this vitamin D is. So how do you raise your vitamin D levels? Well, going out into direct sun 10 to 20 minutes a day is important. So try to get it naturally from the sun. Just make sure you don't get sunburnt, and when you go out into the sun for 10 to 20 minutes a day, you don't want to put sunscreen on because you're blocking the light from turning into the UV light. It's actually UVB that goes into your skin and then interacts with the melanin in your skin to create a chemical reaction that makes you vitamin D. Kind of like if you've ever heard me say, when you eat a food, it's the gut bacteria that take the nutrients from that food, specifically vitamin B, vitamin K, and pulls them out of the food and puts them into the system. The same thing, the melanin cells in your skin are doing the same thing. They're taking light, UVB light, and they're turning that in, making it into vitamin D. That's like a chemistry experiment on your skin. That's how cool the body is that you live in. So, but again, don't get burnt. Make sure you're doing it earlier in the day. I wouldn't do it at the high point of the day, like between 1 and 3 or 12 and 3. Do it earlier in the day and make sure you're not getting sunburned.